Right, okay, let's go. So, episode 2. In this episode, I decided to build a castle. Now, just to warn everyone, I'm probably thinking about moving my videos to private, just because I went back to work today and I'm absolutely terrified that, I'm just not meant to have any online presence with students, which is fair enough. So thinking about how to get around it, hopefully, because I'm really enjoying this and I don't want to stop doing it, but we'll see. So as you know, I want to build a castle. You can see the first thing I've fixed there is a little bit on the stairs, because that was really annoying me. I noticed that in the last video. So I was basically looking around the area and trying to find a good place to build this castle. Now, you might know I went to university in Lincoln, and Lincoln has a castle. I mean, quite a lot of cities have castles, actually. They're definitely a thing of the past. Back from when people used to fight over land and stuff. But I feel like this little village that I've got going actually has kind of a medieval feel to it. So yeah, I don't know what it was, but today I actually tried walking to work and I thought, you know what, I think that village needs a castle, so that's what I've gone for. I'm doing it in these stone bricks. As you can see, I quite like those stone bricks. Yeah, it's only a basic castle, and I fully wing it at the beginning. I start just sort of marking out. I think that's where I wanted the boundary to go. I noticed that there's a bit of a tree line there, and I thought, okay, it can run along the tree line, but I don't want it to go right up to the tree lines. That's why it's a few blocks away. But yeah, I fully just go for it, and I do think. Let me check how long this recording is. Does it say? Yeah, 38 minutes. So it's about on par with my last video, where I did the house. It is just like a bog standard castle. It's really not that fancy at all. Yeah. While I've got you as well, just want to apologise for how much poor quality that last video was. It was really bad. Now I did go into it in my vlog channel, but I just wanted to try and save some storage space and make the upload time faster. But yeah, it did not turn out nice in my opinion, so I'm really sorry about that. I'm going to try and upload this one in a much better quality. It did give me the option to go anywhere up to ultra 4K. I just went for the box standard one and then regretted it, so I don't know whether to just try 720 this time, or do I just go for ultra high quality one. But then literally this is just for my gains. Does it need to be that fancy? I don't know. So in between sort of narrating what's going on in the video, which to be fair, there's not going to be loads and loads for me to talk about. I'll talk about little bits now and then. You can see that I'm just trying to decide how big to make this castle. I do make it square in the end. I think by just winging it ends up one block rectangular, and yeah, you'll see as we go through the video. But I'm here just removing some trees that are sort of in the way. As you can see, I don't really need to narrate that. But yeah, I might start digging into some of the things that I've sort of mentioned in my last video and didn't finish. I think I was just so excited, had so much to say. I think I really it's dawned on me today that I need to be really careful what I say, because going through some of my training at work, it's just really made me think, gosh, am I even allowed to do this? Which is so sad. As I go into my vlog channel, I don't really see what the harm is in it, and I don't want it to be causing problems in lessons or in school or whatever. But it is what I want to do. I might just keep it private for me and my friends. If you're here already, yeah, I'll maybe try and share before I put it private how I'm going to do it. But I'm just enjoying it. It's giving me a little something to do. I'm doing it quite late today, 8 o'clock, because I've gone back to work, and yeah, there's been a few facts in it. I did actually have a quick nap after work because I was so tired, just from a training day as well. But as I said in my vlog, I did a lot of reading, and it was a lot to take in, as they always are. But yeah, and then I've got another training day tomorrow, but you don't need to hear the ins and outs of all that. And then you really need to be careful about divulging this personal stuff. I feel like I've just touched on little bits but not really gone into it. Anyway, yeah, so the points on my list that I didn't finish off from the last video. So I must have mentioned at some point how I get the impression that students think that teachers are just like always okay. And like we're literally human beings, and I don't think they see that, which I completely understand. Like, but we have bad days. I don't know. Like, I think I mentioned before that there are some lessons where I just think, oh, I'm really not in the mood for this, but you just have to get on with it. And I was sort of hoping that maybe like through this they could see that I am a human as well. But yeah, I got thinking that maybe our teacher's supposed to look a certain way. Are we supposed to show that you've sort of always got to be okay, which is probably not the case. Like in today's world, a lot of the training that we've done is actually, it says how we've got to factor in people's mental health as well. But people shouldn't try and use that to their advantage because there obviously are boundaries to that. But anyway, the next thing on my list to talk about was how the cobble didn't go right back to the stairs. So I've sorted that already. I noticed in the last video it didn't go all the way back, and those sort of things really annoy me. There are going to be little things like that all the time. Like even just watching this one now, maybe I should even be now like making notes on what to say. But I don't know if it was just that first video where I felt like I had so much to share. It might end up getting a bit dry. So, and I appreciate you maybe don't want to hear me rambling on. But if I wasn't like rambling on right now, you'd just be watching me build a wall, which is not very exciting. I don't know. Maybe you're loving it. We're all different, aren't we? So ironically, the next point, I was going to maybe talk about like why I stopped sharing so much on social media. Now, I feel like a lot of that is because I started teaching, mainly just because like it takes up a lot of your time, but also it really scared me again when I got into it and was like reading about what you can and can't do and what you should and shouldn't do, about how basically like online presence. I mean, it says that you've got to, sort of like act accordingly and demonstrate, what a good person is. You need to be a role model for the society, basically. But I don't think that by doing this, I'm in any way being a bad role model. Now, on that note, and it did come up in conversation today with some colleagues, like all the time, like, students see online, I've seen it myself, people being really successful from posting online videos of them gaming and whatever. And we always sort of we're of the view that like we know it's a thing and people are obviously doing it. And this isn't a whole school approach. I'm in no way. I'm fully just sharing my views. I'm not in any way representing anything work-wise, which again is like, I need to be so careful with this. I don't know whether to just genuinely like go to the principal and say, look, this is what I want to do. Is it okay? And if she just says, like, no, delete it, then that'll be that. And I could just make I don't know. I could just do a private series just for me to look back on, but not what I wanted. I wanted people to be able to follow along with it. And I do think, like, maybe not so far in this series, but some of the other things I've built in this creative world that I'm playing on are really, like, really cool. I'm really proud of some of the stuff I've done. But yeah, we are sort of like of the view that, yes, we know it's a thing, but it's not, even for me, like, I know it's not a secure thing, because otherwise I'd just, like, quit teaching and do YouTube. But one of the whole reasons I went into teaching, again, I could do a whole video on why I went into teaching, which I might just talk about now so that my points last, because I'm sort of worried that I'm going to run out of things to talk about, but we'll see. Like, one of the reasons I went to teaching is because, and watch me jinx it by making YouTube videos, but it is quite a secure job. Like, you're obviously always going to need teachers. Now, my dad's mentioned before how he's like, oh yeah, they could just replace you, and there's been concerns before that, maybe we could just be replaced with AI or whatever, but I know myself that is just not impactful, because my third year at university was done all virtually, practically, and I know I really struggled with that and definitely did not learn as much as I would have done if it was in person. So yeah, I mean, there's just something as well, like obviously a lot of the stuff that goes into education is not just about what you actually learn, but also like from like a safeguarding point of view, like we can keep an eye on children and make sure they're okay. It's such a big thing. So obviously you can't do that through a computer screen. I mean, I know people could do home visits or whatever, but then you're just getting a snippet of it. So I don't think I could, don't want to jinx it, but could be replaced. And yeah, teaching maths, I just felt like, as particularly as maths as well, like I love that subject, and I've quite often said to my students, how lucky am I that I get paid to talk about my favourite thing all day long? Like, that is so cool. and I'm there saying it's like my favourite thing, but then you'll maybe know in my vlogs I said, how I just want a bit more, because I don't think teaching's the be all and end all. I'm sure it is for some people. Look at how my castle's coming along in the background. I'm loving that. But yeah, teaching for me, like, yes, I enjoy it. I'm in no way saying I hate it. Of course, there's tough days, like everybody has tough days. But yeah, I don't really know where I'm going with that. I know I was talking about why I wanted to go into teaching. I just thought I'm good at maths, and I was really good at uni, in my opinion, at helping people with things they got stuck on. And I just thought, like, this is where I should go. Yeah, I thought it's a secure job, and I love it for the holidays. The breaks we get are great, but goodness me, you need them. It's so intense when you're there. Like, I probably could not cope. There are so many times where I'm like struggling and dragging my heels to try and get to the next half term, and I know that's a normal thing, that's not just me. But anyway, enough about me rambling about my job, because probably getting bored of that. Something you might be a bit more interested in, especially if you join me just because it's a Minecraft gaming video, I've put on here about what my obsession is with Minecraft. So I love Minecraft because you've got like the freedom, and every world is different. I like that as well. It's obviously, I imagine, generated using some kind of code. But yeah, they've all just, there's different characters to different worlds, and you're obviously free to sort of build things however you want. It's not always cool that everything's sort of limited to blocks, but I think what they've done in terms of what you can do with blocks is amazing. Now, I know a lot of people will like look at this if you're not familiar with Minecraft and think, like, goodness me, everything is really square. Getting really uncomfortable. I'm sat on the floor because, oh bash, I would normally be doing this like with the natural lighting, but because it's got so late in the day, but I really want to stick to doing one a day if I can. It might not work around my job, but we will have to see. Anyway, let's talk about Minecraft and what else was I saying? Like how they've done okay with what you can do with the blocks. Yeah, I mean, it works for me. I do wish that maybe there was a bit more that you could do with it, and I know that there are other games like where you can do that. Like, for example, if I just wanted to like decorate rooms and stuff, like obviously The Sims is really good for decorating buildings. I used to love doing that. But in the end, and I did really think about what game I wanted to do on my gaming channel, I just thought Minecraft really ties in a lot of the elements that I want. Now, it's not perfect. It is going to be a little bit like make-believe in terms of, like, obviously there's no cars or anything like that. We usually use minecarts as like trains, but because this is an isolated village, I don't know if I'm actually going to have a train line. I don't know. There are other villages in my world that I could connect it to that are actually really far away. But yeah, I think my ideal game, which is probably another point on there, would be one that is probably a bit more like City Skylines, where you can completely design a city. But what I really don't like about City Skylines is, I mean, firstly, it just gives you a random building, which is great if you don't know what you want to put there. I'd quite like to choose what the buildings look like, and I know you can demolish and you get a different one or whatever, but it's just not quite right for me. I'm just adding some lanterns to the front of my castle there. I really like those lanterns as well. You can see later in the video, I'm really trying to design that walkway up to it. That's a really good start to my castle, in my opinion. I think it looks quite cool. I'm just going to add some towers in the corners, which I start doing now and again, because I'm doing it all sort of as I'm going. I just sort of trial it until I'm happy with how it looks like, and I do think it turns out okay in the end. So there's me just checking out, does that look right? I'm not sure, should I make it higher? And in the end I do make it higher, I go like 5 blocks high. Oh look, you can see a fox getting attacked in the background with a black wolf, which was new to me in the last video. Anyway, yeah, so what I don't like about City Skylines is, I don't know, if you build like a curved road, obviously the buildings, they're blocked again, and I understand that because it's easier for them to program, but I'd really like if the plots you could like make certain sizes and customize them, like they actually had gardens that were that shape and stuff. And I did look at, when starting this channel, like, I wonder if I could somehow create a game like that. But yeah, when I got into like looking at the code of it, I managed to look at how you could make like a simple city game, but it was just not possible unless I maybe do that instead of YouTube. But God, coding it's really tough. When I was looking at how you do it, I was sort of following along, but I was like, oh like, gosh, I can't do this. It was crazy. It was crazy. So actually, after talking about my obsession with Minecraft, my next point was what my ideal game would be like. So that's well done quite well. Sort of on the same theme, the next point which I never finished was why I love computer science. Now, oh gosh, it's for lots of different reasons, and I should maybe bullet point them so I don't forget things. How long's left of this? Oh my god, my legs are killing. I've got like half of this left. Oh, got pins and needles already. Maybe I'll have to like pause every now and then, I don't know. Anyway, computer science. Well, firstly, it's all maths, and I absolutely love maths. And I could get into like why I love maths as well, which again is probably quite complicated. So I really did enjoy maths in Key Stage 4. I've told a few of my students, it's not like publicly common knowledge, but I was in set 1 for everything apart from maths, actually, ironically. I was in set 2 for maths, and that was up till year 9, and then in year 9 I got bumped up to set 1, which I think was definitely the right thing for me, not trying to be vain or anything. And I don't think it was that gave me the boost, like I just naturally followed along with it anyway, and I don't even really know like why I got moved, like literally one day, and it was only 2 people out of set 2, it was me and I think my friend from primary school as well, just got bumped up to set 1, which is obviously a bonus. I'm not sure exactly why they did it, and I don't think it was just random, but what do I know? I mean, if you're from a teaching background, it's never done randomly, is it? No, we don't just put people in groups unless it's because one's full or something. That's unfortunately how it goes sometimes. I'm just putting a little edge on there. I think it really gives the castle something like, look, it's got that bit of extra character. And that is basically the build design that I go for on the other corners. So the rest of the video is just me repeating this to the rest of the castle. So I completely don't mind, like, if you want to tune out now, that is completely up to you. But I just sort of finish that off and then do a little walkway that goes up to the castle. So yeah, I said I got bumped up to set 1 for like year 10, year 11. And I think I just generally did well at maths, which obviously makes you enjoy things more. If you're good at things, you like them better. But I really just sort of, things clicked for me. Look, I ran into a problem here. This is where I realised that my castle was not square. So I decided what to do about that. And I think in the end, I just sort of extended it by a block or took a row off to make it square. And it worked out in the end. I sort of wish I could speed it up, because I feel like this video is not very exciting, but obviously you guys can speed it up on the playback speed. I just feel like the progression of this is going really slow. When I was doing it, I don't think it felt that slow. But I must say I did get a phone call, like, there's me like measuring how big it is, look, to do the same on the other side. I did get a phone call like while I was recording this. So that's the good thing about, well, I say that, my phone's next to me now, but it's on silent. That's the good thing about recording it and then talking over it afterwards, I think. But that's just completely my view. And you don't care, you're literally just here to watch a video. Why am I talking about why I'm talking afterwards? Yeah, so here's me trying to work out what to do. I think do I take that off? Yeah, so look, I take that end row off, and then I think add another like inside row just to make it square. I'm guessing from what I measured that was how it worked out. So yeah, again going back to why I like maths, because that feeds into why I like computer science. So I said I generally did quite well at it, which helps. I loved my teacher. She was really young. I actually think she probably did the same sort of training as I did. I think I've mentioned, but I went through the Teach First training program, and looking back, I think she was maybe a Teach First teacher. She was very young, and she also mentioned about living in the house with other teachers, which is quite a common thing for people that take the Teach First route. I didn't do it myself. I don't know if that was the right thing or not. I think it probably was the right thing what I did, because it's worked out okay. But yeah, so I think she probably would have been Teach First, not that that's relevant, but yeah, she was a really good teacher. And it is usually a really good teacher that inspires other people to go on and do things, so I really hope I'm being that for other students. But in my opinion, I do get on with a lot of my students, and the relationships we have are just fantastic. So I'm really hoping I'm sort of encouraging them to go and do something great, and I really do try and do that as much as I can, because that's just what teachers want, as I've said. Anyway, so yeah, I've got that love of maths, which was actually why I went and did it at uni as well. Because, oh gosh, do I just dive into like my whole life story? I mean, I could do. what I mean, do whatever I want. It's my video. um, so basically, after leaving school, I really wanted to be an architect. As you can, I've sort of like mentioned, and you can, I would say you can see, but you can't really see from making a blooming castle. I wouldn't be building castles if I was an architect. And I do always think, to be fair, like if that's something that I really want to do, like I could just go back to college or uni and train up to do that instead. But no, teaching, yeah, I think teaching is what I want to do. So yeah, I wanted to be an architect, and I chose some courses at college because of that. Now, I guess I'll just be fully open and honest about it, because there's not a lot of, hopefully not a lot of embarrassment in it. Everyone's got a different story, and it's my choice whether to share that or not. But I think I'm okay to be open about it. I'm sure I've been open about it with some of my students before, but yeah, I don't know. So I went to college. It was actually John Megott College in Scunthorpe, which I think is a fairly good college. I remember at the time, I'm sure I was told it was like fourth in the country or something. I don't know if that's true. I could be fully making that up. But it was a really good college, and I'd actually picked. I'm sure I'd picked maths. I think I'd picked physics and business and computers. No, something's wrong. I think I must have jiggled my subjects around a few times because I know I chose art because you needed that to be an architect. Um, I don't think I'd picked business to start with, so it must have been maths, physics, which obviously tie in really well together. My legs have gone completely numb. How long is left of this video? Oh my god. Oh, I wonder if I could like go on my knees instead of just sit up. Oh, I've actually lost all feeling in my legs. But I tell you what, it's going to be a bit boring, but I'm going to have a wander just to get the pins and needles out of my legs, and I'll come back and keep talking. So sorry. Oh my god. This was not a good idea. Oh. 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 I have completely lost all feeling in my legs. Oh no, I can't even walk. Oh, this was not a good idea. Oh my god. Jack, sit down. Oh. It's not completely lost all feeling in my legs. Lessons will be learned, just like we learned about the quality of the video and how to not reveal your Xbox name. That was not a good idea, which again I've got a whole story on. I'm sorry I'm in so much pain. How long was that? If this is a 40-minute video, I must have been on my legs for like 20 minutes, which was fine. I couldn't feel them, but oh, what a bad idea. I really need like a proper desk to do this at, don't I? Oh, don't know if I can even keep talking. My feet are just like tingling because I was sat on them. Oh dear. Right, I'll try and keep talking. I'm just off the camera, and I don't really want to turn it around because the lighting would not be very good. Oh, stand up. I need to stand up. This is so embarrassing. Right. Could I crouch down? I don't know. I need to move this bed really. I've put the laptop on the bed. There, I've sort of got a bit of feeling back. It's a little bit numb. Right, and I was talking about why I love maths. Oh, and I was talking about what I did at college. Right, trying to recap. I'm really sorry about that. Oh my gosh. Things are not going well. Things are not going well. So, I think at college I had initially picked maths, physics, computer science, and because I liked it, and art. Okay, now when you go to college, I don't know if it's still the same, but there was like an induction day where you had to go and sit down with all of the people like for those subjects, and yeah, just review things. Like I know I had to do a little project for art, so they could basically see my artistic capability and like whether I can keep to deadlines and things like that. But I think my other subjects, it was pretty much like, yeah, you're fine to join the course, but I was advised that because I'd picked 4 A levels and people normally do 3, it would probably be better to do 3 A levels and get really good grades good grades in them than do 4 A levels and just get okay grades. So I think in the end, I chose to drop computer science, which was really sad because I liked it, but I didn't need it. I was just doing it because I wanted it. And my advice to anyone would be just do what you enjoy. Like, that is the best advice I can give. So maybe in hindsight I should have done it, but I like maths. And little did I know I'd go on to do maths at university, which was not really my plan at all. I think maybe I was a little bit lost. Like, people at that age are. I was saying again to my colleagues today, like, people don't know at that age, like, what they want to do with their life, and that's fine. Like, my advice would be just to follow your interests. I have fully not been paying attention to what is going on in this game. I'm obviously building the stairs that lead up to it. So yeah, eventually dropped computer science, and then another thing that was common in quite a lot of my courses at college was, as you go through, they have tests at various stages, just sort of like, in-class tests, just to check how you're getting on, basically. And in physics, I just did really bad. Now, I used to, I don't know if I still would because I've not done it for a little while, but I used to get really bad exam anxiety. Basically just really worry that I don't know something, or tell myself that I'm not going to get it finished or something, and then I'd just panic on that and not be able to do anything. But saying that, like, I have managed to, in general, come out with really good grades and a lot of stuff. Now, I know it happened when I was at university as well. It happened so much because some of the problems on those exams were, in my opinion, so hard. And it kept happening then, and I was like, right, don't panic, either move to the next question or just sink your teeth into it. Anyway, so yeah, unfortunately on one of these physics tests, I did not do great. I was really upset about it, and the physics tutor said, look, it's not going to be possible for you to keep doing this course, and I was literally like begging him, like, please, I will do whatever I have to. I just messed it up, and I promise it's not going to happen again. But he just would not let me stay on the course. Which, looking back, like, a lot of my family are quite angry about because, it's just not what you do in education, is that you try and support people instead of knock them back. But college is different to school, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so I dropped physics, and instead, because you needed to do 3 A levels, because that's typically what universities want, or you can do it UCAS points ways instead in terms of like BTECs and stuff. I think I did switch to business instead. So I dropped computer science, I dropped physics, and I was now doing business. So I ended up doing maths, business, and art. And I finished college, and I really just thought, I guess I didn't have in my mind clearly what I wanted to do. I wasn't particularly favouring university, like, to be honest, even college, because back when I was at school, like, you could choose whether to go to college or not. And it was kind of given at school that, we had these little meetings where you talk about what you want to go on and do and where you can go. And it was kind of a given that I would go to college, and this sort of felt like I could achieve what I wanted to do, whatever I wanted to do, really, which was a really nice feeling. But yeah, I guess because I'd switched my courses, I was clear before that I wanted to be an architect, and then because I'd switched my course, it was like, right, well, I can't do it now because I've not got physics. And looking back, I don't know if you could have done it. There was talk about ways you could get into it. There's a thing called RIBA, which is like the Royal Institute of British Architects, and there's only like certain criteria to get in, but I didn't look into it enough, and maybe I should have done. But I'm quite happy with what I'm doing career-wise, I think. I mean, I've not got back into the thick of it yet. It's literally just been a training day. You kind of forget over summer sort of what it's like, and then, well, I do anyway, and then going back into it, I imagine it's going to hit me like a ton of bricks, but we will see. I'm hoping, again, I can have some really good lessons and make lots of really good progress with my students. So, yeah, trying to remember exactly what I said, I'm blooming useless. I'm not always like this when I'm teaching. I promise. I do actually remember like what I've said and the important things to say in general. So yeah, I wanted to be an architect, but couldn't do that because I didn't think I had physics, and I didn't really fancy education anymore. I didn't really want to go to university. I just wanted to get out there and live my life. That was what I really wanted to do. I just wanted to grow up and be an adult. That was what I wanted. I was desperate to like have my own house and stuff. and that's been instilled in me probably since like that age. That was when I thought, right, you know what, I'm going to save up, I'm going to get a house, I'm going to live my life because that's what I want. And I actually went and got a full-time job at Tesco. I think some of my college tutors that I told were a little bit disappointed in me because, you know, they thought I was capable of more, which again is really good, but there was no changing my mind at that time because that was like I wanted a full-time job, and everyone thought I was crazy, but that's what I wanted to do, and it was okay, to be fair. Like working at Tesco again, I could talk about that for ages. I'm not going to dig into it, but while at Tesco, like it just wasn't quite doing what I wanted from a job. So I was like, right, well, if this is not what I want to do, I need to figure out what I want to do, and I'm going to change it now. And because I was working full time, I actually did like have a bit of time around work because it was that job you can kind of clock out of and forget about. Not like teaching at all. I don't think anyway, but some teachers are really good at it. Just check what time we're on the video. So I've got about 9 minutes left. And I remembered with this one to leave a bit of time at the end so it didn't just chop off. I still need to decide what quality I'm going to release this in as well. So yeah, because that was the kind of job at Tesco where I could kind of clock out and forget about it, I did have the chance and the opportunity to think about like what I wanted to do. I thought, what am I good at? What would I enjoy? So I thought, okay, I did really good in maths at college. I got an A in maths. And in general, like I liked the subject, and I felt like I had the potential to be a good teacher. Because back when I remember like being 5 years old, and I used to set up little classrooms and pretend I was teaching. I don't know why I was so obsessed with it. And bless her, my little sister, I used to teach her the things that I learnt at school, and ironically, she ended up being smarter than me. But my family always think that's because I used to teach her the stuff like a year. Well, she was 2 years below me at school, so I don't know. But bless her. I'm really sorry I put you through that. If you watch it, but kids are kids out there who just do random stuff, and you look back and think, why did I do that? Or is that just me? So yeah, I thought I could give teaching a shot, and I looked into how you get into it, and you need a degree. So I decided to apply for university, and yeah, I did look at. I remember now doing business management at university when I was leaving college, but then they obviously decided that wasn't what I wanted to do, so rejected those offers that I'd got. And then I went to look around Lincoln University, and I went to look around Hull University, and I just sort of knew that Lincoln was where I would rather be. But in the end, I decided to go to Tesco instead of going to uni. But ironically, I would end up back at Lincoln Uni, but studying maths instead. And that was just the best thing I've ever done. Doing my maths degree, it was rock solid. But I really did. I've met some amazing people. I learnt so much in terms of maths, which I actually found fairly interesting. Some of it was rock solid, and like my students say, when am I ever going to use this? You'll see I run into a problem there about where I'm placing these blocks. And in the end, I took all those little lighter slabs off the top and just kept it plain, which I think looks better, and it was just easier. But yeah, feel free to share your opinion if that's something you're willing to do. I've mentioned I might have to turn comments off, and I'm tempted to make these videos private, which is something I'm really going to have to think about and quite quickly, because I'm going back to work and I just know I'm going to... First of all, someone might just find it randomly because I've made the videos public. But yeah, I just know I'm going to end up probably slipping up at work to the students and saying, oh, I've done a YouTube video. So yeah, I need a way around it. I'm thinking of making the videos private and probably put it... I don't know whether to like link to my videos on the website and then only share that with certain people. And then obviously they're free to share it with other people, but it shouldn't make its way back to students unless anyone goes and recklessly shares it everywhere. I don't know. It's just sad. Like, why can't I just do this like anyone else would? But it's because I've chosen to be a teacher, and really I should pick one or the other. But I want to do both. I really want to do both. So yeah, what to say? I went to do maths at university. I think I was just generally talking about why I like maths, because that was going to feed into why I like computer science, because computers are basically just maths, which I guess I'll dive into in my next video. If you look there, I've got a beautiful shot there of my castle, which is practically done. I think in the end I whiz off and like just add some little bits in. Like I remembered that little column I put on the left that sticks out. I didn't add that on the right, so I go back and add that in. So we've got 5 minutes left. I just know I need to be cautious of when this video ends. The last one chopped off because I accidentally pressed the start button on my Xbox and revealed my Xbox name, and I'm like, I do not want my Xbox name out there. So yeah, this is basically what the finished product of my castle looks like. Now I say finished, I've obviously not done anything on the inside. I've not finished that inner perimeter of the wall. It really should have one to stop whoever falling off. But to be fair, I've been to castles in real life that don't have that inner perimeter. Like if you go to York, I don't know if it is a castle, but there's a beautiful wall that goes around the city. And I find it really interesting that they've crammed so much in those walls just from a medieval point of view where they had to protect themselves. Which I thought, is a thing I could maybe do if you wanted me to, but yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting just to put some limitations on the city as well, so it can't spread outwards. It'll probably have to go upwards, like I imagine York did. Um, but yeah, I think I go on just to touch up some little bits on the castle at the end of this video, but I think I'm going to leave it here, and then I can always talk about why I love computer science maybe in the next video. I'm going to try and upload these daily. I don't know if I'll upload this one today because it's getting quite late, but I hope you've enjoyed it, and I really appreciate you watching the video. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do in terms of locking the channel down because really I just can't have students seeing it. I've just noticed as well, if you notice on the left tower, I've got those little upside down stairs holding up the top bit of the tower. I think I'll go and add those to all the other columns as well. So if you see that in the next video, and it's really annoyed you in this one, am I going to do it now? No, I think I'll go and add that column in. I try to just stay still at the end of the video because I've learned from the last one that I just need a bit of time to do a bit of an outro. So like I say, I think I just add that column in, not that you can really see it. It's more just like a completeness in my mind. And then I think I go and add, look, there's the supports missing underneath there as well. So anyway, not exciting stuff. So yeah, again, thank you for tuning in. I'm going to decide what to do with this YouTube channel because I really want to pursue YouTube. I think I'm enjoying it. I really am enjoying it, even though I only got 10 views on my last video. But I'm sort of not doing it for the views. I've realised I'm just doing it for the enjoyment. But obviously I want to create things that people want to see. I just wish, for me, there was things that I could go and watch on YouTube, and maybe then I wouldn't be so bored as to go and create my own YouTube channel. But hey ho, like I've said, it's an opportunity, and then I'm seizing that opportunity. I must go and finish those stairs. But anyway, I'm going to leave it here. So thank you very much for tuning in. I'll see you in the next one. No idea what I'm going to make in my next video. I just decided a castle today. If you want to see more on the castle, let me know. Or maybe I'm thinking I might add some houses outside of the video because you probably don't want to see me just building houses. It's not very exciting. I'm going to put houses in this bit here and make a path that goes all the way up to the castle. So there's the little village again with the castle up at the top. Right, thank you for tuning in. I'm going to leave it here. Take care.